let's unpack one of the biggest, most frustrating things about being human, knowing exactly what you should be doing, but doing the complete opposite. This isn't a failure of willpower. It's really just a glitch in the ancient operating system that's running in your head. And in the next few minutes, we're going to learn how to debug it so you can finally take control.
Does this sound familiar? The alarm goes off, you know you should get up, but your hand seems to have a mind of its own, just slamming that snooze button. Or maybe you sit down at your desk, you're ready to tackle that big project, and 30 minutes later, you kind of wake up from a social media black hole. It really feels like there's a traitor in your own head, actively working against you, doesn't it?
But what if I told you that feeling isn't your fault at all? What if your brain isn't broken or lazy or defective? The truth is, it's a perfectly functioning piece of hardware that was just designed for a world that no longer exists. Grasping this one idea, really getting it, is the first step to changing everything.
So, okay, let's meet this supposed enemy within. We're going to take a look at why your brain, with its ancient survival programming, so often gets confused and just completely overwhelmed by the modern world.
Just look at this mismatch. Our brains evolved to handle immediate life or death threats, a saber-toothed tiger hiding in the bushes, or the risk of starvation. The prime directive was super simple: just survive the next 24 hours. But today, well, our biggest dangers are abstract things like project deadlines and an infinite sea of digital distractions. Your brain's threat detection system, it just wasn't built for these long-term abstract goals. And that's exactly where the internal conflict begins.
So how does this ancient brain of ours actually make decisions? Well, it's not nearly as complex as you might think. It really runs on a very simple but very powerful set of core commands.
It all boils down to 3 simple, unbreakable rules that dictate almost everything you do. Rule 1, avoid pain. Anything that feels difficult or uncomfortable, run from it. Rule 2, seek pleasure. Anything that provides immediate comfort, run towards it. And the most powerful of all, Rule 3, conserve energy at all costs. It was a brilliant survival strategy out in the wild, but in our world, it's the perfect recipe for procrastination.
And here's exactly how those rules play out in real life. To your ancient brain, studying for an exam is painful. It's a high-energy task with a reward that's way off in the distance. Scrolling on your phone? Oh, that's pure pleasure, an instant hit of dopamine. And just melting into the couch? That's the ultimate in saving energy. See, your brain isn't being malicious. It's just following its prime directives, even when it completely sabotages your future.
And this whole process, it gets wired into our brains through something called the habit loop. So it starts with a trigger, right? Like feeling bored or stressed. That leads to an action, say scrolling your phone, which provides an immediate reward, that little hit of dopamine. You repeat that loop enough times, and your brain basically becomes addicted to these easy rewards, which makes hard, meaningful work feel even more difficult.
So, if we're all running this same outdated software, what is it that separates the people who succeed from those who stay stuck? The answer is a total game changer. And believe me, it has nothing to do with motivation or raw talent.
Let this one sink in for a second. The key differentiator isn't being smarter or having more willpower. It's understanding the rules of your own brain and learning how to consciously manage it instead of just letting it manage you. This isn't about brute strength. It's all about strategy.
This visualizes the core difference perfectly. People who feel stuck are over there on the left, trying to use brute force and motivation that comes and goes to push against their brain's nature. But successful people? They're on the right. They accept how their brain works, and instead of fighting it, they build a ramp. They design systems and environments that make the right choices the easiest choices. They work with their nature, not against it.
Okay, so how do we build that ramp? How do we do it? Well, it comes down to a simple 3-step plan you can use to start designing those systems and finally win the game against procrastination.
All right, first, make your bad habits harder. Remember rule number 3, save energy? We're going to use it against itself. This is all about increasing what psychologists call activation energy. If you have to walk into another room to get your phone, you're just less likely to do it. Second, do the exact opposite for good habits. Make them incredibly easy to start. You want to go to the gym? The goal is just putting on your shoes. That's it. This is the famous 2-minute rule. You want to reduce every single ounce of friction. And third, we come to what might be the most powerful lever you have, controlling your environment.
This is the secret weapon right here. Your willpower is a finite resource. It's like a battery that runs down. But your environment, it is working on you 24/7. A messy, chaotic room encourages a messy, chaotic mind. A clean, organized space that's designed for focus, well, it naturally encourages focus. If you want to change your behavior, don't start with your mind, start by changing your room.
And finally, let's talk about a really powerful mental shift that works with your brain's programming. Stop focusing on goals and start focusing on identity. See, your brain has this deep-seated need to be consistent with how it sees itself. So instead of saying, I want to be productive, which just frames it as something you lack, start telling yourself, I am a disciplined person. Your brain will then actively look for evidence to prove that identity is true. It's subtle, but it's a profound shift from aspiration to affirmation.
So as we wrap this up, I really want you to reframe your entire relationship with your brain. It's not your enemy. It's not trying to sabotage you. It's an ancient protector, a loyal bodyguard that is simply using an old playbook to keep you safe in a world that has completely changed. And once you understand that, you can stop fighting yourself and start working together.
So the next time you feel that pull toward procrastination, that magnetic urge to do the easy thing instead of the right thing, just take a breath. And remember what we've talked about. This is not a moral failing. It's not a character flaw. It's just your brain running its ancient, outdated software.
And the most empowering part? Now you understand the rules of the game. You have the strategy. You know how to design your environment, how to reframe your identity, and how to finally outsmart that beautiful, powerful, and very, very outdated brain of yours.